the quarterback of the team is responsible for calling the plays. You could call the right play, you could call the wrong play, okay? So you're in the huddle. Sometimes the coach calls the play from the sideline, and as a quarterback in the huddle, you typically call the play. You tell them what the play is going to be. Sometimes you go up to the line of scrimmage, tell them what the play is going to be without a huddle. What's up, Jeffrey Lee? Great video this morning. So today as a quarterback, what we're talking about is you're responsible for calling the play, all right? So you get up there, you call the play in the huddle, you let everybody get to the line, you let them set up, and then you run a different play than everybody else runs, okay? As a quarterback, instead of calling an audible, you just do something different. Instead of a handoff, it's going to be a pass, so nobody's looking for it. So my point is, you said one thing in the huddle, and then once you got up to the line, you end up doing something else that nobody else had a clue about, okay? Maybe you thought you saw something, okay? Because a quarterback a lot of times is responsible for making split decisions. He's responsible for reading the defense. They got to learn a lot of things, so sometimes it is confusing. Sometimes you got to know what defensive backs do. You got to see if it's a blitz or if it's like a nickel back or whatever the case may be. I don't know all those exact terminology. But as the quarterback, most of the time, especially the offensive team, they're considered the leader of the team, okay? So as a quarterback, you get up to the line after you call a play in the huddle, and you do something completely different than the play that you called in the huddle. Now, you didn't either forgot or you just didn't call an audible, right? What could happen? What could happen if you ran a different play? You said hike. Everybody set up for a run play, and you're sitting there trying to pass the ball, or you start running it or whatever, because it ends up being a broken play. Maybe that only happens once or twice a game, but let's say you did it one time. What could happen? Well, you could get sacked. You could get sacked as a quarterback. There could be a turnover. It could be a close game. You make that kind of play, you could turn the ball over. Or the worst thing is you could get somebody injured or get injured yourself. Okay, so there's a couple things there that could happen if for some reason the quarterback decided, instead of telling everybody else, they were just going to go off on their own and run their own play and not tell everybody else, okay? Maybe they wanted to showboat a little bit. Maybe they wanted to show what they could do in a tough situation. Maybe they just forgot. Maybe they forgot to call audible. I don't know. But you see what I'm saying, okay? Now, I always do an analogy, so I want to apply this to family. I want to apply this to a leadership life, okay? Because here's where I'm going with this. If you're a leader in a business, if you're a manager, or you consider yourself a leader of your family, whatever the case may be, if you say you're going to do something, follow through with what you say you're going to do, okay? Does that make sense to you? Okay, because in football, if you make a bad decision where you decide not to follow through with the play that was called and that you called in the huddle and everybody else goes their own way, okay, you could get sacked, you could get a turnover, or you could get hurt, okay? The same thing applies in life, okay? So if you say you're going to do something, okay, follow through with it, all right? It's one thing to forget every once in a while. Maybe you forgot that you told somebody you would do something and didn't follow through, like a customer or your kids or something like that, but they never forget. They never forget that. It could be one time, they don't forget. So what could happen if you didn't follow through with what you say you were going to do for your family, a customer, whatever? Two things I come up with. You might could come up with more. Number one, much like you could get hurt in football, you could definitely hurt somebody by not following through with a promise or something that you told them you were going to do for them or get accomplished for them, okay? This mainly affects you at home, but it could affect you at work as a manager, as a leader. You tell somebody you're going to do something and you don't do it, okay? It could hurt them, okay? It could hurt them. They could lose a lot of respect for you because of that one instance. Listen, in life, and I know it's not fair, you could do 100 things, exactly, Jonathan, you could do 100 things right, okay, for somebody, and that's fine and dandy. You do one thing where you forget to do something or follow through on a promise, guess what? That's the one that's remembered, okay? Unfortunately, that's the truth. I appreciate that, Tammy. That's the truth in life, and you have to live with it, especially if you're in some type of leadership position, okay? It's vitally important, okay? Because one thing's true. And I'll tell you this, respect is earned. It's not something that because you have a title that you're automatically entitled to. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's an earned title for you, respect. I'd rather have respect than anything else, okay? But you have to earn it. Okay, so number one, if you don't follow through with what you say you're going to do, and I've done this, by the way. I'm not telling you something that I haven't gone through myself. You could hurt somebody, okay? You could really hurt somebody, and that really comes into effect with the family. You tell your family, your kids, your wife you're going to do something, follow through with it. That way, you have that healthy relationship that I talked about yesterday, and you have growth in work relationships and at home, okay? Number two, in addition to losing a little respect, you lose credibility as a person or even a leader, and you're considered one that's maybe not trustworthy at that point. Now, I understand sometimes it's unfair to judge somebody based off that one maybe negative thing that you did, but guess what? As like a quarterback, guess what happens? If you lose the game because of that one play, who's to blame? You're the one that they remember forever. The Cubs fan that interfered with the ball a few years ago, that I forget his name off the top of my head, Bartman, reach over, touch the foul ball, causes them or something causes them to actually lose that game and the title at that point, I believe. Guess what? They still remember that kid, okay? Because of that one bad thing he did. I don't know all the stuff he did in his life, but guess what? They remember it because of that one bad decision. So you have to remember that as you make promises to people and you make those dedications of things that you're going to get done or do for people. I don't care if it's a family. I don't care if it's your coworkers at work. I don't care if you're a leader or a manager in a business and you're promising people stuff. Okay, number one, make sure you can fulfill that promise. But don't change the play without telling them. Do what you say you're going to do because number one, like I said, you could hurt somebody. You could really affect them the rest of their life because of a broken promise. Okay? Or number two, especially as a leader, possibly as a person in a family and a father or a mother figure, you can lose respect, but you lose credibility, all right, as a person and a leader. And then you're considered one that maybe not be trustworthy or one that you can actually believe what they say, okay? Like I said, a lot of times you get caught in one lie, you're a liar. Do you follow me? You get caught stealing, you're a thief. So the only way to combat those things is stop doing those things. So if you call a play, make sure you follow through with that play so everybody else is on the same page, because you definitely don't want to get somebody hurt. You don't want to take a turnover late in the game or a sack, right? Because you're going to be blamed for the reason you lost. Same way in life, same way as a manager or a leader in a business. You're the ultimate responsibility, okay? Let's say you're a manager in a car dealership, for example. You're the head honcho. What you do trickles down, all right? If you don't follow through what you say you're going to do, guess what's going to happen? The rest of your people don't follow through what they're going to do. So, as you go out today, I hope this has helped somebody, because when I was thinking about this, I actually had another topic that I was going to talk about. I may save that till Monday. But I was thinking about this because oftentimes we tell people things just to appease them, all right? I don't want to tell somebody just something to appease them, because people are not always right, regardless of what you hear. Sometimes people, they're wrong. There's got to be a right and wrong answer, right? So today as you go out, if you say you're going to do something, follow through with it, because you don't want to be the quarterback that's remembered for losing the big game on possibly the last play of the game. So you don't want to hurt somebody, and you definitely don't want to lose respect and credibility of the position that you hold because only you didn't follow through with something you said you were going to do, a promise that was made, all right? So go out today. Hope you take this with you. Maybe apply it to your life today and see if this is you or not. If it's not, keep on rolling. If it is, let's adjust, let's fix it, and make this place, make this world a better place, all right? Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Fist Pump Guy, Bonnie's Toyota, selling cars the right way because it's the only way I know. Follow the Fist Pump Enterprise.